Let me tell you a quick story. There are two people, same age, same income, same starting point. Both of them want the same thing: to stop stressing about money, to have more control over their time, to eventually build income that doesn't depend on a job. But they take two completely different paths. The first person decides they need to make more money, so they chase every opportunity they see. They try trading. They jump into trending stocks. They follow what everyone else is doing. Some days they win. Some days they lose. But overall, they stay stuck. Because nothing is consistent. Nothing is building. Now the second person does something different. They decide to build income slowly, predictably. They start small, not with a lot of money, but with a clear plan. And that plan is simple. Buy assets that pay you, hold them, and keep adding to them over time. That's it. No shortcuts, no hype, just consistency. Now fast forward a few years. The first person is still chasing, still searching, still starting over. But the second person, they've built something. Not overnight, not perfectly, but steadily. And now their investments are paying them. That's the difference. Not intelligence, not luck, a system. Now let's bring this back to you, because this is where it becomes real. If your goal is to make $100 per day, that's about $3,000 per month, around $36,000 per year. And for most people, that's a huge shift in lifestyle. That's bills covered. That's less stress. That's options. But how do you actually build that? Not in theory, but in real life. Step by step. Let's walk through it. First, you need the right vehicle. Something that can actually produce income, not just growth. That's where SCHD comes in. SCHD focuses on dividend-paying companies, which means you get paid for owning them, not for selling them. That's important, because it changes the entire strategy. Now, instead of hoping prices go up, you're building income. Now let's talk numbers. To generate $36,000 per year at around a 3% yield, you need roughly $1.2 million invested. Now don't let that number shut you down, because that's not where you start. That's where you're going. Big difference. Let's rewind. Back to day one. You start with what you have. Maybe it's $500, maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's less, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you start. Because the moment you invest that first dollar, you've shifted. You're no longer just earning, you're owning. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They invest once, then stop. Or they wait for the perfect time, or they get distracted. But this only works if you stay consistent. So let's build a real scenario. You decide to invest $400 per month. Not easy, but doable for many people. That's $4,800 per year. Now combine that with reinvested dividends and slow, steady growth, and something starts to build. At first, it's quiet, almost invisible, but it's there. Now fast forward 1 year. You've built the habit. Your portfolio is growing. Your dividends are small, but real. Now 3 years. Now you're over $15,000 invested. Now your income is noticeable. Now 5 years. Now it's starting to feel real. Now 10 years. Now your portfolio has momentum. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because something changes. You're no longer doing all the work. Your money is. Your dividends are growing. your reinvestments are compounding, and the system starts feeding itself. That's the turning point. That's when people start to believe. Now let's slow down here, because this moment matters. This is where most people wish they had started earlier. Not because it was easy, but because it worked. Now imagine this. You wake up one morning, check your account, and you see income. Not from your job, from your investments. That's a different feeling. That's control. That's progress. Now let's build this further, because $100 per day doesn't happen overnight. It builds in layers. First, $1 per day, then $5, then $10, then $25, then $50, and eventually $100 per day. Each level matters. Each level builds confidence. Each level proves the system. Now let's talk about what can stop this, because this is important. Distraction, impatience, fear. The market drops and you panic. Things slow down and you lose interest. You see something faster and you switch. And every time you do that, you reset the process. That's why most people never reach this point. Not because it's impossible, but because they don't stay consistent long enough. Now imagine the opposite. You stay focused. You ignore the noise. You stick to the plan, year after year. And slowly, everything changes. Your income grows. Your stress drops. Your options expand. That's what this is really about. Not just money, but freedom. Freedom to choose. Freedom to decide how you spend your time. Freedom to live differently. And it all starts with one decision: to build, to stay consistent, to trust the process. If you want to go from $0 to $100 per day, now you know the path. Start small, stay consistent, reinvest everything, and let time do the rest. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to Simple Money Compounds. Because here, we don't chase money. We build systems that pay us, and we let that money compound.